Welcome back to another episode of The Ordinary Experience. Today I have my new friend, Mads.
Hello.
This is Mads' first time on a podcast.
Yeah, it's my first time, so sorry if it's a bit shit, but we move.
I'm sure it will be fine, honestly.
Alright.
Chill conversation. It's like a mini Joe Rogan experience.
Who's Joe Rogan?
Okay, I think we need to end the podcast. Right.
I don't know a lot of things. I'm quite
He's
dim.
the bald-headed guy that talks about aliens. And MMA? Nah. Don't worry about it.
Alright.
It's just a bald guy. How are you? How's your week been?
It's been okay. I mean, it's been quite busy because obviously I'm leaving tomorrow. And I still have a lot of stuff to do. But overall, it's been like an okay week. Like yesterday was really nice because went over to Hannah's, like had a few drinks, just a nice little chill evening, which was actually quite needed.
Was it the first one in a long time?
Not even. It was just nice to just be with them and like, because the atmosphere was so chill and just like it gave me an opportunity to just dress up and like literally just go to Tesco in the most ridiculous outfit.
It was the bougiest fit I've ever seen. Okay, right. Let's dive into this.
Right.
Your style seems not. The word wouldn't be eclectic. It's sort of like you take garments from things that don't go together and you make them work. Or it looks like things shouldn't go together. Like you had this t-shirt wrapped around this sparkly dress.
Yeah.
That, in theory shouldn't go, but you make it work. Run me through how you visualize this stuff.
To be honest, I don't fucking know.
None of us know what we're doing anyway.
Because the thing is, it's like I've been told this a lot. Like even like Khadija, like any of my flatmates before, like even in first year, or even in like college, I'll be wearing like the most ridiculous thing, and people will be like, "But how? Like if I wore that, I would look shit. But you make it work." And to be honest, I think it's just the fact that I've got zero fucks for what anyone else thinks. And I think in that way I developed a lot because I remember when it was when I was still in school, like doing GCSEs and stuff, like my group of friends at the time were always kind of like dressed to the nines in a way that's like kind of I want to say basic, as in like like dress up really nicely, do you always do your makeup, do your hair like like proper and prim or whatever. And I think after the first year of college, because I remember I used to be so uncomfortable with not having any makeup on.
Right.
And I remember in the first year, so year 12 of going to college, I wore makeup every single day for like a solid 6 months. And I was like, you know what? What's the fucking point? What's the point? Because I'm dressing up like I was someone else. I wasn't dressing up like I would. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like
you were filling these false boots.
Yeah.
You're putting on this this literal mask.
Yeah, essentially. And then after I kind of dropped that and like stopped giving a fuck what people thought of me or what I look like, what I wear, I started wearing things that I felt comfortable in. I started wearing like things.
That sparkly dress did not look comfortable.
What? No, it was fine. The sparkly dress was fine.
Really?
Yeah. It was just like it was the wrong size, to be fair, because I've been blessed with some boobies, but there's nothing else in the butt department. So I'm built like a like the letter P, but
built like the letter P.
Yeah, but we kind of just make it work, and I think like I said before, even with my makeup and stuff, I just went fuck it, because at the end of the day, it's just makeup. You wash it away, and you move on with your life, and it's on to the next day. So I think I've started, like, especially this year, I started experimenting a lot with my makeup looks, like my hair, my style in general, because I was like, life is too fucking short to have boring eyeliner. Like, if I want to do graphic stuff, sure. If I want to do all black and look like a goth, cool. If next day I'm literally like all preppy, looking like I'm about to enter a fucking business meeting, that's fine as well. Like, it changes all the time. Like, you saw me yesterday, I was like dressed up as if I was going to, like, I don't fucking know, like a fancy dinner or something.
Fancy goth dinner.
Fancy goth dinner. And today I'm literally like a sweatshirt and some shorts because I'm comfy. Like, every day is a different vibe. But I think that's kind of what makes.
But where does the style inspiration come from? Like for me, I'm, as you can tell, I'm sort of like a very monotone type of color guy.
Yeah.
I don't really experiment, but partly because well, in the past I've like traveled,
Mm.
or I've been no, not traveled. Yeah, I, I have to have clothes that kind of fit all of the departments
Yeah.
rather than just focus on like a winter wardrobe and a summer
Mhm.
wardrobe. But you seem to not care whether it's cold or hot or
Yeah, I think, to be fair, a lot of my clothes, they're not actually mine.
right.
So a lot of the clothes I wear, like even this jumper, this was my dad's
Uh huh.
back in the day, and like a lot of my stuff that my mum used to wear, like she gave me 2 pairs of Versace jeans
Uh huh.
and like a Versace like mesh top. But obviously they got that at the time when money was good.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And like now I wear it and it's kind of like vintage. And whenever I wear, what I've noticed as well is whenever I wear their clothes that they don't wear anymore, that I basically just stole from their wardrobe,
Mm-hmm.
or if I, get something from the charity shop, it's literally cost me like £1. People are like, oh, I really like your top, I really like your jeans. I'm like, yeah, thank you very much. Blue Cross, £1. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think the concept of style and like having expensive taste is there's no real difference in having so much money that you spend on designer labels when in fact it's just the simple stuff that's kind of like like fashionable or whatever.
So you don't, with your style, you don't focus it around a sort of theme. It's just whatever vibe you're feeling.
It's just whatever vibe, to be honest. Yeah.
Do you have any style inspos?
um Not really, no.
So
I
you
kind
make it
of
up as you go along.
pretty I kind of just wing life, and I kind of just wing
That is crazy
anything. Yeah.
because you've got an eye for it. Like you genuinely have.
Mm.
And I've seen your Instagram and the graphic makeup that you have, like the eyeliner and stuff.
Yeah.
Where did you learn to do that? Or
Because
is that just picking it up as you go along?
we're kind of just picking up as I go along. And there was also, I think I saw a couple of TikToks of like girls with fun eyeliner, and I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I want to have fun eyeliner. I want to have like red lips and blue eyeliner and like fucking stars on my face and glitter everywhere. Because why the fuck not?
Do you think it reflects your personality in a way?
Yeah,
It does, and it's your
yeah,
expression of it.
yeah. I'd say so because some days if I want to just if I feel like shit, I I tend to not wear anything out of like the ordinary, you know, things you see on a mannequin. But when I'm like feeling great, like I wake up, I'm full of energy. I'm like, okay, what's the vibe today? When I want to just blend in, I'll just wear like I don't know, like tracksuits or like just jeans and the jumpers, so I just don't stand out in the crowd
Mm.
because it's quite hard to be kind of like blending in with everyone because I'm 6'1". I'm 6'1". Like I wear a lot of chunky shoes, a lot of heels, which doesn't really help.
You
So
stand out.
I stand out as it is, and then obviously if I'm, dressed up to however I'm feeling, then you can see me from miles away
Literally.
because I'm like, I'm wearing like the most ridiculous thing ever, but it kind of, I don't know, it just makes me like kind of like happy in a way because then
I think when I wear like my fit yesterday was this cream top with a
mm,
Travis Scott-esque kind of checked woolly
mm,
jacket, and you feel good when you wear nice stuff.
yeah,
Definitely, it puts you in a good mood.
yeah, for sure.
Like I'm not a big fan of wearing trackies anymore because
Mm,
I feel like it just gets you too comfy.
yeah,
I'm more of a shorts type of guy, just chilling shorts.
yeah, I'm the same, to be honest.
Are you a hat person or not so much?
I fucking love hats. Oh my god, I love hats. I've got a bit of an obsession with sunglasses.
I'm definitely a sunglass person.
I'm such
Definitely.
a sunglasses person, honestly. I even made a TikTok recently with,
I loved it.
did
Absolutely
you?
loved it. I haven't what is it? I haven't followed you yet, but I
Yeah,
saw it on your Instagram and I was
yeah,
cracking up.
honestly. But those sunglasses, they're
It's the
not.
it's the Felicia one, isn't it? The
It's the
Felicia and
yeah,
whoever
yeah,
and like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, that one.
yeah. And no, because that's not even all of my collection. I've got more at
It's
home.
a bougie collection,
It's
man.
it's a bit bougie, not gonna lie, but at the same time, none of them were that expensive. None of them were that expensive at
So what?
all.
You just pick them up and kind of on your travels wherever you're going, like
Yeah,
charity shops.
pretty much. Like even when me and Khadijah went to Staines the other day,
Mm.
I got 3 pairs of sunglasses.
Damn, girl.
It just kind of happened.
So you have a lot of clothes.
Coats. Oh,
Clothes.
clothes. Yeah, definitely.
Like, do you not? do you not end up going through like a cycle of clearing them out every couple of
I
months?
do, I do, I do. But like I said, the majority of my clothes that I wear now is most of it is not fast fashion. Because I used to be, trying to fit into the trends of like fast fashion, going to Topshop and like,
Mm.
River Island, all the high street shops. I used to be obsessed. But now that I've kind of stepped away from that and the fact that I wear a lot of stuff that used to be my parents or like hand me downs, like charity shops,
Mm.
I don't really think about it that much.
I try and go for I'm trying to move into more of a functional style.
Yeah.
So kind of like super tough stuff that lasts a long time rather than fast
Mm.
fashion. But it's sort of transitioning out and getting used to not having that latest trend.
Yeah.
Like I'm a Zara type of guy.
Yeah.
I'm a Zara type of guy.
To be fair, yeah. Me and my mum, we usually go down to Brighton. Um, like at
Brighton's
least
awesome, man.
yeah, at least like once a year because they have we go to Urban Outfitters because we go to like the sale section
Right.
and just pick up the most ridiculous things. Like I've got I've got one hoodie, but it kind of like stops cropped, and then the rest of it's like a satin skirt. No one in the fucking world would wear it, but I do, and it's great. And
But you pull off a lot of stuff that's really well. You talked about your personality and not giving a fuck.
yeah,
I think that helps it as well.
yeah, for sure. I think so as well because, like I said, like I literally even a couple of weeks ago, I literally came down to the kitchen in like a pajama top and like just trousers and a cardigan, and everyone was like, "How the fuck do you make that look good?" It's literally just pajamas, but I think it's just the fact that I don't give a fuck. I don't give a flying fuck what anyone thinks about me.
Have you always been like that?
No, I
So
don't
when
ever.
did you like mentally make that change?
I think after probably, I think a lot of it developed when I got into uni.
Really? So only a couple years ago.
Yeah, but at the same time, I remember in like, I think so. I kind of moved away from like the fast fashion and like following trends when I was about 16. So from about 16 to 18 up till now,
Mm.
I've like slowly developed into, just doing whatever I want to do and wearing whatever I want and kind of just being confident in that way. Because, sometimes I wear clothes that just, they don't make sense. And a lot of the time it's a random mix, but for some reason it's just a vibe. I don't know why, but it just is.
But uni's helped you. Do you feel uni's helped you come out your shell, or whatever show you were in?
Um, I think it's just the fact that obviously beforehand, a lot of my friends at the time were very similar in a way of dressing up,
Mm-hmm.
following trends, getting like the latest haircut or makeup or whatever else. But when I moved
There's
away from
latest
that,
haircuts.
I don't fucking know. Probably. I mean, there's like trends. Like right now, the mullet is a thing, isn't it? Because of Miley Cyrus.
It's not my type of vibe.
Is it not?
Well, no, I can't grow it, can I? Like I'm as bald as they come now. Just it doesn't grow.
You should just cut a mullet in your beard.
No,
Do a
the
beard
beard is
mullet.
kind of like a sanctity.
Is there protection?
Yeah.
Do you feel safe when you have a beard?
Yes. Yes. I can
Same.
just get away with stuff. I can blend into environments.
Yeah, I get that.
You walk into anywhere and they're like, "Oh, good afternoon, sir." I look older than I am. I think I'll grow into this look in years to come.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a bit too old for my current age now.
Yeah, not gonna lie, you look about 35.
Yeah, 35, kids, mortgage, wife, but we're 23 and we moved.
23, yeah. It's mad.
Talk to me about the uni experience for you so far.
So, to be fair, it's been a bit of a roller coaster, but I think.
What do you study? Let's start with that.
So I study psychology, like every other basic white girl apparently, which I don't really like the fact that it's become a meme of every white girl studying psychology, but unfortunately, I'm one of them.
What made you choose psychology?
I always wanted to do it.
From
Like a really really young age, like 6 or 7.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I used to watch this like show that was based on a single dad and 5 girls, and the mother had left them, and he worked as a therapist.
What show is this?
It's a Russian show.
Okay.
Yeah, it's called like Daddy's Daughters, basically in translation.
Mhm.
But I think that kind of was ingrained in me, the fact that you can help people, not just by physical help, but mental and like just talking things through with people. I think that was kind of ingrained in me from a really young age. So it was basically a no-brainer to what I was going to study at university.
Do you feel like it's helped you deal with people in real life and kind of the way people act and getting into situations, interacting with other people rather than your average human where they'll just lose their lid sometimes and you kind of look at different perspectives?
Um, I've never thought about that, but I don't really know. I don't really know because I think I've always had a kind of different outlook and perspective to the majority of people based on, how I grew up, how I was brought up, how, like environmental influences made me who I am today.
Mhm.
But yeah, like I've never really given it much thought, to be honest.
Because obviously we both know Musin,
Yeah.
our famous triple OG,
Yeah.
PhD comedian, whatever else he does, boxer, Anthony Joshua, this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
And when I talk to him about it, he'll give me not pointers, but he'll tell me like how a person could be thinking.
Yeah.
And maybe it's just because he's further on into the psychology journey than you are.
Perhaps so, but I do kind of get that.
You get what I'm getting at.
Yeah, no, even before I studied psychology, like A-level, uni, or wherever else, I always kind of, because I feel like I can read people quite well.
What's your read on me? Let's do this.
Oh, it's a lot of pressure now. I don't know. Maybe could you just give me like? I feel like with your body language as well, you're quite an open person.
Okay.
You're quite an open person, but you can be reserved.
Uh-huh.
You can be quite reserved, and I feel like you have a more of a kind of like you definitely have a more positive outlook on life than most people, and I feel like you kind of just follow what you want to do rather than kind of depending on other people. You're kind of like a free spirit in a way, I reckon.
Interesting.
Would you say any of that's correct?
I think based on the time that you've known me,
Yeah,
which is a
2
handful
days.
of hours, 2 days at like max.
Yeah.
I think I can see why you'd say that.
Yeah.
I haven't always had that perception of myself. It's like I've been through mental health issues as well.
Yeah.
And life I've felt has been too much at times.
Yeah, for sure.
But free spirit and not relying on people, yeah,
I feel like you're quite like independent.
I'm getting there. I'm getting to that point of independence. I like not to be held back by anyone.
Yeah. What was your first impression of me when you first saw me?
So you walked into the kitchen in the accommodation.
Yeah.
And what were you wearing? You were wearing something interesting that day.
Was I?
Yeah. I can't remember exactly what it was, but
I can't remember either.
It was a fit, and I was like, okay. And I knew who you were because I'd seen your Instagram stories with Khadija.
Yeah.
So I knew of you. I just didn't know who you were. And you opened your mouth and you started talking, and I was like, this could either go 2 ways. She's either going to be really calm.
Yeah.
Or it's going to be one of those people that I'm not going to gel with.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Did you think I was intimidating?
I think because of your height, you're intimidating.
A lot of people say that.
But also the resting bitch face doesn't help.
Yeah, no, it doesn't help the situation at all. No, I remember I asked so many people, so many of my friends, like, when you first saw me, what was your first impression? And it's literally like a cold Russian bitch with fucking resting bitch face and intimidating as hell.
I wouldn't say cold. I would say...
Because I think I'm not that much of an open book when you first meet me.
You've got to ease you open.
You've got to ease away.
Grease the wheels and just chip away.
But literally the first things people would say about me is I'm intimidating and I'm tall. I've got a resting bitch face. Tall. Like those are the 3 main categories people would say.
I'm going to have to tread carefully, not on what I say, but I feel like how I think could potentially be not attacked, questioned.
Why?
I feel that you're that type of person.
What do you mean?
That would ask why more than once rather than just settling at face value why.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
That was my initial impression in the
Do
first
you
first
think
couple
that's bad?
sentences. No, I think that's good. I like that.
Hmm.
I like it because you can get to know someone faster.
Yeah.
You know what type of person they really are.
Yeah.
Right, because
sure.
the face value stuff is great, sure,
Yeah.
if you want short conversation, but
Like long term.
yeah.
Mm.
And I think first impressions was I thought you were interesting. Just off the style, just off the aura that you bring
But the
into a
thing
room.
is, it's like when people say interesting, it usually just means boring.
No. I feel like there was more to you than just the aura and the style and the tallness and the resting bitch face. There's something to uncover there.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Because you know some people, they walk into a room and they can just slide into a room and slide out.
Yeah.
I like to be that type of person that can do that, but also go the other way
Yeah.
and command the room if you want to, if it's necessary.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, I don't really mind. Like, sure, if someone wants to talk to me, they can talk to me. If they don't, they don't.
Yeah.
I just like vibing with people now.
On a level, to be fair. Yeah, I agree. I agree completely.
At uni, have you made friends that have come and gone? Or have you stayed with like a core group?
To be honest, yeah, I've majorly stayed with my group. Like, you know, the first person I met outside my flat was Hannah, and
Got to meet this Hannah one day.
honestly, she's great. She's probably one of my favorite people ever because she's also tall. So I feel like we just, you know, I don't have to look down on someone. We're literally like on eye level. We have had a lot of similar life experiences.
Right.
And a lot of the stuff that has happened to both of us is kind of like a learning curve to how we became who we are today in, you know, in that kind of perspective. And ever since I met her in
So you met her at uni?
I met her in first year,
Right.
yeah. So she was just sitting, because I remember seeing her in one of the first lectures where it was kind of like an introductory thing.
Yeah, I got you.
And she was sitting in a row in front of me. And I saw her and she saw me, so I kind of like smiled, I had a little talk. And then I saw her again, just sitting outside with a couple of friends having a cig. And then I was like, oh, I remember this girl. I want to be friends with her. So I kind of like sat.
You remember having that thought?
Yeah, I was like, I'm going to be friends with this girl. And
have you told Hannah that?
I don't think so. I don't think I have. And I remember when I saw her, I sat down like nearby and she was like, oh, I've seen you before. And I was like, have you? She was like, yeah, I saw you on a night out the other day. And I was like, oh, I didn't go out. I was ill. And she was like, oh, it must have been another girl with a block fringe and black hair at the time. I was like, yeah. And that's kind of like how we first met. And then obviously it turns out that we were also in the same tutor group.
Right.
So after that initial meeting, we because we also lived in the same accommodation, just different blocks. So I remember walking back to the accommodation and we were just talking about like music and stuff. And I told her how I've never been to a concert or like a festival, anything like that. And she was like, oh my God, what the hell?
I've never been to a festival.
I've never been to a festival.
Been to a concert?
No.
Went to Section Boys. That was good fun.
And yeah, and I remember she was like, because she basically grew up in festivals and like concerts because her family's quite like musical and stuff.
Oh, wow.
And
we really need to get her on the podcast.
Yeah. And she, I remember she was like, oh, well, if there's like a concert soon that we both want to go to, you can just stay at mine for the night and like we'll go like have a nice time, whatever. And I was like, does this mean that we're friends? And she was like, yeah. And, like, and to this day, she still brings it up. I'm like, of course we're gonna be fucking friends, you idiot. Like, why? Oh.
Like, do you feel like she's been a rock for you whilst your time at university?
Yeah, for sure.
Can we dive into some of the life experiences that you mentioned?
Yeah.
That have molded your and Hannah's like present lives.
Yeah.
What did you mean by that?
Well, we've, you know, I'm not going to go into her business
not
because
her Hannah's story. I'm talking about yours.
You know, that's her story to tell, and it's not mine. But you know, we both struggled with mental health, and I'm still struggling. To be honest, I've been struggling since I was about 11, which sounds extremely young, but that's just part of life. And, you know, it's kind of like developed into a more serious issue to the point where, you know, I'm now clinically diagnosed as having bipolar. And it's been quite a hard experience because I had my first major depressive episode when I was 18. So I literally just like a month after I got into uni, everything kind of changed in my mind. Like I felt numb all the time. My sense of taste changed. Like I wouldn't have any urges to like, even go to the toilet. Like I could just stay in bed for like a week straight. And I think I did do that at one point because I just didn't have any energy to get up.
Really?
Like I didn't drink, I didn't eat, I didn't want anything.
Mm.
And even because I used to drink coffee all the time, like before uni, and I've been drinking coffee for a while. Because the kind of depression set on, I couldn't drink coffee anymore. Like the flavour of it was just too much for me. It made me feel really sick.
So in your depressive episodes, it's almost like it's changing the.
It's like it's a lot of physiological changes because I even remember when I had my first major depressive episode, it lasted around 9 months, and for those 9 months, I completely lost my period as well.
Really?
My hormones just went out of whack. I didn't have anything.
That's insane.
Yeah.
How
It's a lot of physical changes as well.
how do you deal with the bipolar?
Well, because obviously now, I've experienced both depression and mania, so I kind of know what it feels like. Because
Can you explain bipolar to me? Because I don't truly understand it.
yeah, so well, my type of bipolar, I got first diagnosed with bipolar with some like schizoid symptoms, like basically having like voices, delusions, etc. But mainly bipolar because of like the change of basically mood. So it varies from person to person. Some people have short-lived manic episodes and so depressive episodes. Some people, like me, have longitudinal depression and manic episodes that last many months. And it's just something that I'm going to have to learn to live with. And I have kind of adapted in a way as well because, after my first depression episode, at first I didn't know what it was. I had no idea why I felt different. I had no idea why I couldn't understand what people were saying to me.
But you were conscious of the fact that you couldn't understand.
I was conscious of the fact and I was confused. I was like, people would be talking to me and then I wouldn't know how to respond because it would go into one ear and come out the other. I've got no idea what they said. I couldn't keep track of life. I didn't see a point. There was no point for me because the way I describe it when I'm depressed, when I'm having a depression episode, is that I'm mentally, I'm not there. I'm dead. I'm just the physical body of me is still alive, but everything else is it's just flatline. There's nothing.
How do you keep yourself alive then?
To be honest, I don't.
It just runs on instinct.
Yeah, because I remember I had another depressive episode that lasted from last year November up until late September, and it was obviously like during lockdown as well. And when lockdown started, I went back home to my parents, and
Parents in England or?
Yeah, in England. I went back to Hastings, and it was the hardest time, I think, being depressed and not being able to do anything because I barely even spoke to my parents. I'd barely come out of my room.
What can I ask? What goes through your head?
Nothing.
In the depressive episodes, nothing.
There's nothing. It's just.
But in the manic episodes,
manic episode is 10,000 miles an hour. I've got too many ideas. I've got a lot of energy. I'm thinking I can do this, that. I've got so many ideas. Like I'm really creative. I get really bad insomnia when I'm having a manic episode because that's kind of like a like a side effect of it.
Is it?
Well, kind of like some people with mania or mania just in general, they can stay up for like 2-3 days in a row, just like constantly working, and that's just that. So I think it's because now I've, like I said before, I've experienced both depression and mania, so I know how both of them feel like. So when my second depression episode started, that lasted over lockdown and towards, the end of September of this year, I kind of knew that I had to just ride it out. It was really, really hard.
Are you on drugs, prescription drugs for this stuff?
Yes, I am. Yeah, I take quintiapine, which is an antipsychotic, at night. and then in the morning I take biperidone, or I can't remember the other name of it, but it's the same thing. It's basically just to like cure the kind of the side effects of the quintiapine, because one of the side effects is like stiff muscles and like joint pain. So when I wake up, especially for the last couple of days, I've been waking up with like really intense pain in my joints, and like especially my wrists, and like my back is the worst for like muscle contractions and stuff. It's really bad.
Can you not take anything to counteract that stuff?
Well, yeah, that's the things I
but
take in the
on
morning.
top of the other,
No.
can't take like CBD or something.
Well, I've never tried it, and I don't know
If it will affect the other stuff as well.
exactly, because you know, there's been a lot. I've been on a lot of different medication to try and work out what actually works for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember there was one time where I was put in this medication, and I can't remember what it's called, but I had really bad heart palpitations. I had a really bad fever because of it. I could barely like open my eyes because they just felt so heavy. I felt so drowsy all the time. It was really awful. But then obviously after we worked out with the doctors like what actually works for me, it's been fine ever since. But it's still like the after effects of the medication is it's taking the toll on my physical health, which is just,
I can't even imagine what that's like.
yeah, it's but it's something I'm gonna have to. It's chronic, so it's something I'm gonna have to live with for the rest of my life.
How do you know it's chronic? Like how do the doctors know, or you know it's chronic?
Well, I've kind of just been told, and like because mental health illnesses, they can get better, but they don't really go away.
I agree with that. I can't imagine like the split personality, the bipolar, like to transition from a depressive episode to a manic episode, and go from what is essentially off to on.
Yeah.
Like you must struggle at the same time with keeping up with yourself, right?
Yeah, for sure. Because I remember, you know, even during lockdown when I was really depressed, we had online exams because of coronavirus, and I remember I didn't do any revision at all, and the first exam was statistics, and we have to pass that in order to move on to the next year. And I remember I did it. I did the exam, and I knew straight away. I was like, I didn't pass this. There's no point trying. I'm going to drop out at the end of this year. I thought I was going to be a uni dropout. I had my heart was set on the fact that I failed that exam, and so for the rest of them, I didn't try. And for one of them, I just went, you know what, fuck this. I'm going to drop out anyway. So what's the fucking point? I didn't do it in the end. But then my grades got back, and I averaged a 2.2, which, given in the state I was in, is quite impressive.
That's insane. That is incredible.
There was just nothing through my head, and I had not. To be honest, even now, if I read what I wrote, I would have no idea what I wrote because I can't remember. And then I got given an opportunity to retake one of the exams that I didn't do.
Right.
And it ended up being like one of the highest grades I got, because it was like a high 2.2, which, you know, 2.2 is not, it's not great, but given in the circumstances I was in,
I think you've got to be respectful. Like every person's situation is different.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And in the case of yours, getting a 2.2 in a depressive episode, would you call them episodes?
Yeah.
A depressive episode is, yeah, that's something.
Yeah. Because I would wake up and I'd spend the whole day in bed just doing absolutely nothing, literally just like watching videos on my phone or like, you know, whatever. But even that, like, there wasn't any pleasure from it. I just kind of just watching it just to distract myself from the fact that I couldn't feel, the fact that there was nothing there.
What can you feel the numbness?
Yeah.
Like an empty void, right?
It's, yeah, like I said, you know, it's like my physical body's here, but my mental is not. Like, I just feel like a completely different person when I'm depressed, and it's really insane, and it's really, really hard because a lot of people don't understand.
Yeah, that's true.
And you know, it's quite hard describing your experience to someone who hasn't experienced it, and who probably, even if someone else, say like you take another person with bipolar and compare it to me, the experience would be completely different.
Yeah, I think it's like mental health in general. When you say to someone, I think the poignant one is when you say to someone, I want to take my own life.
Yeah.
They're like, I don't understand.
Yeah.
And I think for me, when I told my parents that, they couldn't comprehend what they had done wrong to raise
Yeah.
me. And I'm like, it's not you. It's not your fault.
Yeah.
There's something wrong with the way I perceive life
Yeah.
at the moment. And like I won't, depressive episode, I think is probably the best term. I've never been able to explain it properly, but depressive episode is the best term for it. But I transitioned into that at the back end of my third year, start of my third year, back into my second year.
Yeah.
And I'm quite vocal about it on the podcast at the start, couple first episodes. And like it got to a point where I was abusing drugs, and I got to a point where I was driving home one day and I just wanted to put the car in the sidewall on the motorway, and I was like, fuck this, no one will miss me.
Yeah.
And I feel that when you try and explain that to someone that, as I said, hasn't been through it, as you said, hasn't been through it, there's a difference between not understanding it and just not understanding it, and it's something that's never gone through their head and they don't know.
Yeah.
I feel that everyone has moments of like suicidal thoughts of.
But actually, no, I'll disagree on that, because I remember there's an actual video on YouTube.
Yeah.
Where people are asked like, "Oh, have you ever thought about taking your life?" And the majority said, people who are into it said no.
Really?
A lot of people haven't even considered taking their own life, considered suicide, considered harming themselves in any way, shape, or form. And it's very surprising, because I thought a lot of people would at least have that just like a random thought, like, oh, I could just kill myself right now and that be it. But a lot of people don't.
How do you know they're not lying?
That's true, but I feel like with the topic like that, because obviously they have to give consent in order to be in the video and like, you know, give like kind of background information about themselves.
You got to send this to me afterwards.
Yeah.
Or at least I'll try and find the link. That'd be interesting to watch. And
a lot of people, they never even considered it, because they're like, well, why would I do that? Life is so great.
And getting back to that point of life being great and being in depressive episodes, like life is great. It is, isn't it?
When I'm like this and I can feel and I can talk to people and understand, and you know, when I have things to say and I can say them and I can understand what other people are saying to me, yes, life is great. Like, yeah, of course there's, you know, there's bad days, there's things that go wrong, there's, you know, disappointments, but that is a part of life and that is okay. But at the same time, when I'm depressed, I'm like, I could take my own life right now, and I have tried. I have had attempts of suicide.
So you've attempted it?
I have attempted suicide.
I could never get to that point.
I even over lockdown, bless my mum, I was in my room, and obviously because I'm on meds, so I can easily overdose.
Right.
And I had taken out of the packet, I've popped all the pills out, and I had them in my hand, and I was literally about to take them just to end it all, because it was just too much. And
too much of not feeling.
I was just so done with it, because at that point it was probably, how many months? Around maybe 9 months, 10 months of just feeling nothing. And I was like, I can't live like this anymore. And I was going to take my own life. And then my mum walked into the room, bless her. And she was like, what are you doing? And then I told her, and she just started crying, because she couldn't understand why.
And in that moment, could you feel anything or not?
No.
Nothing. That's difficult, man.
Yeah.
Fucking sucks. Do you feel that you're finding a way to deal with it at all?
Yeah, I mean, like when I come out again and I'm like myself again, you know, everything's kind of fine, then I enjoy life. I enjoy doing little things, like even, you know, I get pleasure from just cleaning, or like, you know, just waking up in the morning and drawing my curtains open and seeing the sun. It's like, wow, like, this is actually incredible, and I'm happy to be alive. But when you get into that mental state, even if it's just not a depressive episode, if it's just like a random thought in your head, like something bad happened that day, and you start thinking about it and just, you know, keep thinking of different scenarios and stuff.
My mum calls it a downward spiral.
Yeah, you just end up spiraling. And when I do that, you know, I get really bad anxiety, and sometimes, you know, I suffer panic attacks, and you know, it's not the best way of dealing with it, but it's it's just what happens. It's just my natural body reaction to the situation that's been very stressful or whatever.
You ever try meditation?
Yeah, so I do. I do meditation. I do yoga.
Do yoga?
I do yoga. Yeah.
My girl,
Yeah.
yes. That is what I'm talking about.
No, yeah. So I started really getting into yoga. I think when I was at the end. So maybe from the age of like maybe 14.
Right.
I started doing yoga, and then I remember during like GCSEs and A levels, I used to do yoga every morning and every night before I go to bed.
Wow.
And I literally felt like a different person because
That's
like
incredible, isn't it?
because like I said, I've got, my body's a bit strange. Like I'm really flexible. I've got, it's like double joints or whatever it's called, like hyper flexibility.
I've got that in my tendons. No, is it my tendon? What keeps together bones and muscle?
Ligaments.
Ligaments. I've got that hyper thing in my ligaments.
Yeah, so I've got hyperextension in my hands, in my feet, in my knees, in my back. So I'm a really flexible person, but because I'm so flexible, a lot of the time my back fucks up because it just hurts so much. And I remember when I was doing yoga consistently, like every morning and every night, my back strengthened so much and like it wasn't clicking anymore. It just felt strong. But since then, I've kind of, I still did it consistently up until I think I was 18, and I did it like a couple of times here and there. And I used to go to like classes like Pilates and like yoga and whatever else.
Oh, you're a beast doing Pilates and yoga at the same time.
Yeah, I remember one Pilates class. I came in late because my bus was late, but we were just doing some stretches and stuff. And then at the end of it, I asked the instructor, I was like, oh, what do you think can help with like my hyperflexibility and stuff? She was like, you just got to be careful because I saw when you were stretching, like my legs were bending the way that they shouldn't bend. And she was like, you need to be really careful to not pull a muscle up or like basically just fuck yourself up, because I've got like a lot of plasticity and like I'm
bendy.
Yeah, bendy. I remember because one of my friends in first year, we were just watching a film, and then I started clicking everything. I actually know we were watching a Friday night dinner, and obviously, have you not seen it?
What's Friday night dinner?
Oh my god, you've not seen Friday night dinner?
What is it?
It's like a TV show.
No, never.
Oh my god, listen that.
Not really a TV guy.
No, but it's on Netflix. Watch it.
Okay.
It's quite funny. It's like a family sitcom.
Okay.
And one of the characters is called Jackie, and and my friend was like, "You're like fucking cracky Jackie, just cracking everything." I'm like, yeah, no, but I've got like a little kind of like a routine in a way. Like every night when I go to bed, I click my back, click my neck, click shoulders, toes, feet.
Click out.
You just click out. So I'm like, oh, okay, I feel zen now. And then when I wake up as well, I'm like so stiff because obviously like the after effects of the medication plus the fact that I'm really fucking flexible. I'm just like,
just and it all just tightens up in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
That sucks. I'm not sure if you know, but I actually I took up yoga when I was in India for the first time.
Really?
Yeah. And so my time in India was for a year. Did you know I went to India? So post uni, I went on a European road trip for like 3 months, and then I came back to the UK for a month, and then jetted off to India, which was supposed to be for 6 months, traveling and doing stuff out there. But I was living there as well, and I ended up extending that time for another 6 months in the hope to do a yoga teacher training course.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but pandemic hit and it didn't work out. But I memorized I got to do 3 days of it. I memorized the warm-up routine. Well, kind of the practical aspect that we had to learn.
Yeah.
And so for the next, basically 6 months, I did it every day.
Yeah.
And I did get so much more flexible, but the impact on my joints was just killing me by the end of it.
Yeah. And
it fucks with it completely changes your sleep cycles as well.
Oh, for sure.
I was getting up at like 5 a.m. just consistently, 4:30 a.m. consistently. I wasn't sleeping a normal time and I could deal with less sleep. But I get back here and I'm like, oh, let me keep me in bed. So I need to get back into it.
I know, like I've always been flexible ever since I was little. Like I used to do ballet and stuff, and I used to just be like,
Russian, and you do ballet.
Yeah.
Did you ever join the Russian ballet?
Well, the thing is, I did ballet up until the age of 9, and if we'd stayed in Moscow the next year, so when I was 10, I would have gone on point. like as in like wearing point shoes.
I gathered.
Yeah, but obviously we moved, so I never got the chance to.
Do you think you'll ever take it up again or no?
You know, I actually considered it last year because I was just looking at like ballet studios around here, and there was literally nothing. And I found one. I think it was in Chertsey or something.
Right.
And it was literally like £50 for 1 hour. I was like, there's no chance in that. But I still do like little something, like, you know, like a little plie, you know, like a, you know, whatever. But yeah, I was really flexible. And I remember in school as well, when we did dance, I used to be able to, because you know, like you stand up and you like touch your toes.
Yeah.
I used to be able to stand up, touch my toes, but like also like put my head to my knees.
Oh,
I could literally bend in half.
can't do that yet. Working on it.
I could bend in half, and I was so flexible. And because I kind of like stopped doing it and stopped doing yoga and like, you know, stopped really stretching that much,
Hammies tighten up and
I
everything.
can barely touch the floor. It's embarrassing.
You know what? When I got to India and before I started yoga, I couldn't touch my toes. By the time I finished, I could put both hands clean on the floor.
Yeah.
Like obviously there's still a bend, but
Yeah.
it was leaps and bounds from where you start.
Even like a downward dog, I used to be so good. I used to be like a perfect triangle.
I can't do that yet, not properly.
I used to be a perfect triangle, literally like my feet flat on the floor, hands flat, everything extended, perfect, like lockout, brilliant. But now I can barely, like, I struggle so much. I can't straighten my legs.
I don't think people understand how difficult downward dog actually is to do it properly.
It's so difficult to do it properly. And like I used to be able to do the bridge as well. Like I used to be able to do it from standing, just to go down.
I can't do it from standing, but I can do the bridge.
I can do it like from the floor, but I could not do it from standing anymore. I'm too scared.
It's like you go back and I feel like there's too much pressure.
There is.
Coming, like falling backwards onto your arms.
Yeah. But I used to be able to do it so easily. And now I'm just like...
Can you do the lotus position?
What do you mean?
Lotus, where you fold this leg up here and this
leg. Oh,
yeah,
I can do that.
Can you do hidden lotus?
What's hidden lotus?
So you do lotus.
Yeah.
And then you kind of roll yourself forward.
Yeah.
So the lotus is underneath you and your hands go behind your back in a prayer position.
Oh, no. But I've always had flexible... like hip abductors, because I can, like, when I sit on the floor, like, you know, do a butterfly, my feet, even now, my knees kind of like, you know, get up now because I'm not as flexible anymore, but I used to be able to just do it flat.
I'm almost there.
I honestly, I don't even know what was wrong with me. I've just been flexible ever since I was little, but obviously now that I stopped doing it consistently, I'm like starting to get more stiff. I'm like, ugh.
Do you think you'll get back into it? I think
for
it's
sure
difficult. I think it's harder than the gym to get back into.
Yeah, but to be fair, like, because obviously I did yoga for quite a while, and then like every now and then I just do like my own little yoga flow, like in the morning or at night or something, or just like roll out my muscles, because I've got a foam roller now and like a little yeah, I've got a little yoga block as well for like stretching and stuff, so it's good. But it's just a matter of actually getting my mat out and, you know, dedicating the time for it.
Look at you. Oh, I've forgotten all the names. Like there's a word for dedicate. Oh, yoga teacher's gonna kill me, man.
Resilience?
No, there's a Sanskrit word for it that I've forgotten. But like part of the course was that as a teacher you've got to know all of these things and the history of yoga, and it ties into that. So you know what I'm gonna do? I will get you a book at some point.
A book?
Yeah, I'll get you a book. It's a yoga book that's got everything in it.
Oh my god, that'd be amazing.
And it's got the breathing exercises, it's got the prayer positions and stuff like that. And it's like beginner, you know, the changes that you can make. I'll get you that.
Oh, that'd be incredible.
Picked it up on my travels, and then we got one from the yoga studio as well. So I've got two, but I'll get you one. It's a little present. Cute. I think it's important to share knowledge.
Yeah, of course.
And I like giving people a book, like something tangible, rather than just like I'll send you a link. Yeah. I think there's something special about books.
Yeah. Even with uni, I would rather take a book out of the library or even buy it, even if it's fucking expensive as hell, rather than reading it online.
Yeah, I mean, maybe for psychology, but economics, nah.
No.
Economics.
Oh, no, but there's just
everything online.
Yeah, but you can do the same with psychology as well, because like all the books are available online, but it's just not the same, because I want to have the physical book. I want to like write in it. I want to highlight it to the max and just like annotate the fuck out of it.
I mean, we did buy, like, my house, we all ended up buying the books.
Yeah.
And and if one person didn't have one, or we'd share. So it was good in that sense, and it was good for the revision aspect of it.
Yeah.
But like all in all, if you can learn off online, I like it. I just like having like non-fiction books.
Yeah.
You know, like or fiction books for that matter. Both. Like I like the tangible aspect. I can't do a Kindle.
Yeah, no. I could never do a Kindle.
Like I can't read on my phone.
I like the idea of it.
Yeah.
But practically, I want a piece of paper.
I like how it smells.
The smell of new books. Oh my god.
There's a distinct smell I remember, right? Have you read Harry Potter?
I haven't actually read. Well, I started reading it once, but then I got bored and I was like, yeah.
So I think I must have been about 11.
Yeah.
And I got Harry Potter, Deathly Hallows Part.
Yeah.
I think it was Deathly Hallows Part 2. No, Deathly Hallows. The book was 1.
Yeah.
And I remember the smell of that book. It was just phenomenal. There's something so special about a new book.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's really, and I like pre-owned books as well.
Yeah, I do as well.
Because they tell a history.
Oh, for sure. I remember there was one book I found. So at the end of first year, there was just a book on the floor and people have already moved out. And I was like, oh, that looks fun. So I started reading it. I never actually finished it. But I started annotating it and it's a really, really interesting book. It was a really interesting book.
What was it called? Can't remember.
Can't remember. But it was about it was kind of like a crime investigation. It was very interesting.
You were annotating a crime investigation. What, with like sticky notes of this is where this person got killed?
No. Like
the mini detective did all of this.
No. So it was just it was really well written, and some of the quotes were like, "Wow." So I underlined it and shit. But
it's been an emotional roller coaster.
I'm at this point, whatever goes. If I have a panic attack right now, I won't be surprised.
Let's not. let's not do that. Okay. Really, I don't. I'm open to dealing with it. It'll be an interesting experience, but I'm not sure how to.
I swear the only word you're using to describe me is just interesting. Everything is interesting.
He says that word a lot.
I do say it a lot.
Yeah.
It should be called the Interesting Podcast.
The Interesting Podcast, yeah.
It's when people talk about their experiences and when you're having a conversation, sometimes you don't know when to stop yourself from chiming in.
Yeah.
And so I use buzzwords to keep the conversation going because it keeps you in the flow of talking.
Yeah.
So I go, I am genuinely interested.
It's not just pretending.
It's not just pretending because I go in with a mindset or I've changed my mindset to I'd rather be more interested than interesting.
Yeah.
And before it was very much like me, or kind of the ego getting in the way of stuff.
Yeah.
But I try and take as I said, the stance of I want to know as much about you as possible. Forget me. I'll chime in when I feel like I've got an experience to share.
Yeah.
But I want it to be about you. Like every experience, every interaction that I have, I try and make it like that because I feel I connect with people better that way.
Yeah.
So I consciously make that decision. And yeah, I know I use certain buzzwords a lot. Like I mentally, when I say them, I'm like, you shouldn't have said that. Come on, try a different word now. You can do better than this. So I've got to look up in a dictionary how to synonyms for words.
Thesaurus.com.
Yeah, well, you know what? Maybe I'll have my laptop out and I can just search words for now. But I really appreciate you sharing your story and coming on.
Well, that's just the little brink of it.
We'll have a longer one.
Yeah.
When you get back from Russia.
Yeah.
If you get back from Russia.
Oh, I'm not planning on dying unless the plane crashes. Well, in this case, thank you and goodbye. Fucking hell.
No,
it's
genuinely.
Like Marie Kondo, isn't it? Thank you. You don't. Does this hold spirit anymore? No. Thank you and goodbye, and we move. And it's the same thing. Like, thanks for me being alive for 20 years and goodbye. It's now my time to go.
Now my time to go. Honestly, it's been lovely. It's been lovely getting to know you, and I look forward to more in the future for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Appreciate it. I will see you soon.
Say no more.